from isiNtu, you can derive other languages, but from other languages, you cannot derive isiNtu. You can't, because it's a fundamental language. And nobody can say anything because it's mathematically proven. Everything that is in your world is also in your language. That's why language is then the beginning of your engineering ability, your problem-solving ability is first seen in the language. That's why they are not crazy white people when they laugh at black people. You didn't show ingenuity. You didn't show problem-solving from your language. That's why you abandon your language. And whenever we discuss it right now, we go to English, because we are saying they have solved some of the problems of communication, and our ancestors didn't.
In a world where Africans have lost their roots, it has become of vital importance to document our ways. In an effort to reverse the brainwashing of the past, where we were made to believe our ways are demonic, we are pressed to create dignified and respectful platforms to unpack our spiritual ways. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or position of this channel, its hosts, or affiliates. This podcast is a platform for open discussions and exploration of various perspectives, including controversial and unconventional ideas. We encourage viewers to think critically, do their own research, and form their own opinions. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as fact, advice, or an endorsement of any specific viewpoint. Viewers' discretion is advised. Moya light, Moya bright. Welcome to another episode of Moya Podcast. I'm just scratching my nose, guys. It's not substances we can't mention. We don't go there. Welcome back to Moya. It's such a privilege to have you back. Thank you. Our numbers are growing. It's such an exciting time, guys. We've been working so hard for the past 2 years. And people used to diss our Smolangana podcast. They used to say to us, your Smolangana podcast that nobody watches. But now you guys are changing the game. Thank you so much. It's not so much a Smolangana podcast anymore. So we really thank you, especially the members. The members who are putting in their 20 Rand every single month. Because really it's not that much to just contribute and invest in something African and something that we hope will last for generations and feed other generations. So let me not talk too much, guys. Let me not talk too much. Thank you so much once again to the members for helping us keep the lights on. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We've got Prince Sizwe again. Another part, and we are unpacking part 2. You know, Prince Sizwe, when we bring you here, it's because we want to unpack language. I think that's your passion.
Yeah, African civilization is my passion. So, as I explained last time when I was here, that language is one of the 4 pillars. It's actually 5, but I'm allowed to talk about 4 for now. 4 pillars which proves God. And then isiNtu language is one of the pillars.
Give us all 4 of the pillars so that we are on the same page as you.
Yes. So the second pillar, it is scripture and philosophy. The one is isiNtu. The second one is scripture and philosophy.
That's word.
That's scripture, yeah, in Bible.
Okay,
and philosophy.
Words, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then the third one is pure numbers. So we prove God just by pure numbers. And then the fourth one is the modified general relativity. So what we did was to modify general relativity, that is to complete most of the questions which we have in general relativity. And in solving those problems in general relativity, it actually revealed to us God. So then we have 4 proofs in which any one of them is like the story of David, like he has 5 stones and is facing Goliath, but he only needs 1 stone. Any of the 4 can mess him up. So it's a situation with the work that God has given unto me with these 4 stones, is that I can be able, in fact, with one of them, like isiNtu, the Goliath, which is the Western civilization, really falls down flat. And that's the big burden and the big message that I have, is that fallen is Babylon. It is fallen. The Spirit of the Lord said to me one time, shout and say, fallen is Babylon. And so, isiNtu is the way in which Babylon falls flat to the ground. Because
What is isiNtu?
so isiNtu is the ancient scientific language. Now, isiNtu is by Japanese, maybe we'll go there, they call it the way of the gods. They call it the way of the gods.
Got you.
Yeah, they call it
Got you.
Shinto. They call it Shinto, yes. And it's the oldest religion in Japan, so it's as old as Japan itself. So isiNtu is the source of the civilizations of the world, especially the current sitting civilizations. They owe their existence back to isiNtu. So it is the proto-global language. It's a language that comes before the global languages, and we have proved it. Okay, I'm here to demonstrate that. Okay, that isiNtu is actually the language which gave birth to the languages of the world. All right, and also they call it the Paleo-African language. Sometimes a Paleo-Negro language. Sometimes, but at the end of the day, just the picture is isiNtu is the base from which other languages come from. So it's a derivative language, or it's a language that derives other languages. Other languages are derivatives. This one is not. isiNtu, it derives other language. And the funniest thing, or maybe the exciting thing, is that you cannot derive other languages. From isiNtu, you can derive other languages, but from other languages, you cannot derive isiNtu. You can't, because it's a fundamental language. And nobody can say anything because it's mathematically proven, all right? So I love math, okay? I'm not a math genius, perfect. But I love math. I love the logic of math, because whenever you prove something in math, it is sure, true, forever. It cannot be revisited. And with math, I can be sure by myself that what I have is true, because the argument is self-contained. Of course, you have to take it to peer review, other people to see are they seeing what you are seeing? That's the thing, right? Or somebody will see something else with what you are seeing. So for me, the work that I have done so far, I'm very confident that it can stand trial, it can stand any scrutiny from any institution, because it is mathematically consistent. That's very important. And also, it is the crisscrossing, referencing from various languages. And you find these connections, which could not be connected unless the theory was true. So then it's those things which then validate that isiNtu is the ancient scientific language, the language which is the language. Now, when I was here last time, I wanted to say an example, and I remember I thought no, time will not allow us. So I think now is a perfect time to say that example. But before that, I think I have to I want to thank you for bringing me in the space. I don't know if you know how impossible it is to be in such a space, especially a person like me, and I'm from Township, Ekasi. My life is dedicated totally to my work, right? I don't even have time to go and hustle for anything. So my work is totally in the hands of God. The time when you contacted me and you said, hey, can you come in and pack this thing? I was praying, I was crying to God, by the way. Saying, Lord, you have given me this work and you're not even giving me opportunities. Saying that I must create a podcast. I don't even have time to hustle money so that I can have that thing. Immediately I go and do that, your work suffers here. Because I have to study isiNtu. From studying isiNtu, I study mathematics. From studying mathematics, I have to study physics. It's a lot, you see. And also you have to deal with your depressions and stuff. It's because it's a fuel, so you need to be depressed, by the way. It's a life of a thinker.
Yes.
You welcome depression.
Yes.
It doesn't kill you.
Yes.
Exactly. So when you said come in and pack, my goodness, I was like, Camagu. Because that means also understand Camagu to be the one who, with precision, he's a precision from the depth. So when you see things which connect, like, it can only be somebody who has been connecting this thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's why it's Camagu.
We are just vessels.
We're just vessels,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So I really want to thank you for that. And people should really, really support media spaces like this, because I've been into other media spaces, I've tried, and they've told me I'm not famous enough, I'm not, but you said you have something special. I want people to hear what you have to say. And I was so shocked when I saw the comments. I was like, wow. Because you understand that I spend my time doing that. I'm always alone. I'm always alone, sometimes with friends there, but nobody takes me serious. Even if I break it down, people are like, what will it help us, So, but then you see the comments and people are blown away. Like, I'm like, okay, that's just new. That's new. So I am thinking. In fact, during this time, I was busy with my friends setting up a podcast. Because I've been into other podcasts and they're not playing my podcast, so I'm thinking, okay, I gotta make sure that, Lord, I have a podcast. So my friend is into media. And then we're setting up a podcast, and then just 2 weeks, things are not working very well. Like the building we're in is just no electricity, and it's just the only building, like, why God? I'm praying like, no, Lord, why? And the other person, like Chris what, I went there, and then playing my podcast, I'm like, Lord, what was going on? And the Lord reminded me and said, remember you made a promise. So now I made a promise to God when you call me, right? I said to the Lord, this is a promise I made with you because of the grace she has given me, because she didn't give it to me, she gave your message. She was interested in your message, So since you said, when I was crying last time, the Lord said, hey, they're not hitting on you, they're hitting on me. So now I'm saying, Lord, she has accepted, not me, she has accepted you. I said, then of all the 4 major breakthroughs, these are major breakthroughs that I have, I'll make sure that I release them, Moya with Sizwe. Because I know you, Father, you're faithful. So during this week, I forgot him, so I'm busy there. And then things are not working well. I'm praying to God, and the Lord said to me, remember what you said. I said, Lord, I thought this was just my kindness. He said, no, it wasn't your kindness. Remember, he who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet receives a prophet's blessings, reward. And he who rejects a prophet in the name of a prophet receives a prophet's curse. So the Lord said, you are about to make a very big mistake, you see. Because the major breakthroughs, you must release them there as per your promise. Unless the viewers of Moya said, we don't want to hear about these other things, we're fine. Then I'm free, because it's a spiritual covenant.
Yeah.
Because the Lord loves sacrifices. He loves people who take chances on him. Because understand, he is hidden. As he is hidden, he cannot you must call him. So he gives okay, let me not go there. It's a topic for another time. So just thank you.
Camagu.
Camagu.
Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Camagu.
We appreciate it. Now you saw comment section.
Camagu. Yeah. It was mind blowing. People are receiving the gift, So I'll probably maybe go and explain one of the 2 comments there, especially I think one which was technical. I think it's technical. I did explain it, but sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, my message is not there. I don't know, it's invisible to me, or so it's like, okay. But it's fine, because the person was just saying you can't say words are the same because they sound the same. You see, so like Adama, you can't say Adama, then isiNtu is the same with Adama, just because. So I explained that, no, actually I use cognates. That's what I'm doing, cognates. So cognates is words which sound the same and have similar meaning. And I explained it, if you can check the last episode, called it izincazelo eziqhelele. That is parallel explanation. So this is the technique that we use in order to certify that words of isiNtu, they maybe seeded some of the known words, maybe from Greek or from English and so forth. So ask this kind of.
No problem. No problem. Can I quickly slip in a question while you drink water? You were busy talking about the pillars, and you were on isiNtu, right? We're still on the first pillar, actually. And from what I would have automatically thought you meant culture, but you actually mean language.
Yes, because
Yes.
Ngiyabonga for that question. It's a beautiful question. So when I talk about isi, so si in isiNtu means essence, right? The concept of si. We're going to get into it. There's a spectrum of is a spectrum of action. Okay, so if sa says si so su, all of them they define action in various forms. So si is a trailing action. Si la. So anything like musi, anything that trails, is a si. Now, the ancient, they used then this concept to describe something which is an essence. Because, oh my God, I don't have my board. I wish I had it. Because when you have it like an action starts here, maybe say B,
Yes.
so it's an initial point,
Yes.
it starts and then continue maybe to whatever, X or Z. The trailing there, if it's a trailing there, you see what it is? It becomes an essence of a thing. So if I say maybe I have a stick starts from point A to point B, and then there's a trailing action of the stick. The essence of the stick is this trailing action. You see the concept?
Yes.
Yeah, because the ancestors played with concept.
Yes.
So that's why again a C always means an essence. So then when you have isiZulu, what they're saying is the essence of Zulu. You see, isiXhosa, they mean the essence of Xhosa. You see? So now the essence of isiXhosa, the essence of isiZulu, is not the rituals, the sigo, the thing. Because all these things, they are encoded in the language.
Yes.
Yes. The language is like your another world. So language is important.
Yes.
Language is like another world. So you take the world, and then you are going to actualize it in the language. It's called a metric. So it's like a metric. A metric is a concept of having a scale. So you have a scale that describes another reality. So you have an abstract reality, metric. And this word, metric, the concept is from isiNtu, is meterica. Yeah, so when you break it down, I don't know if you should break it down now, but it's meterica, and the meterica means it's something that is of high, it's peak, but is also abstract because of the word may. So the word may, I actually suspect that the word may is the way that really took our ancestors into this metaphysical world, from the spiritual to the metaphysical, because the metaphysical is like you're dealing with the components of the spirit. They become metaphysical. So that key, I believe it was may. So then the language then becomes that thing that actualizes your world. Everything that is in your world is also in your language. That's why language is then the beginning of your engineering ability, your problem-solving ability is first seen in the language. That's why they are not crazy white people when they laugh at black people. You didn't show ingenuity. You didn't show problem-solving from your language. That's why you abandon your language. And whenever we discuss it right now, we go to English because we are saying they have solved some of the problems of communication, and our ancestors didn't. So when they laugh at you, they're in the right space to say, you guys, for 1,000 years, and then you couldn't be able to represent this world in a way that it could make you successful. You stupid. You needed us. You see? So that's why I'm passionate about language, because language is like your other world. You see? So if you take and you lose it, you are losing your world, as Toni Morrison said. She said, we die. That might be the meaning of life. Then she said, we do language, and that might be the extent of our lives. You see? Because in the language, that's where our lives gets extended. And the language is because of that, is an extension of your life. Language is then the self-identification mechanism. Your self-identity. Believe you me. You should not be deceived. It is on the basis of your language. That is how you view yourself, how you see yourself. It is influenced by your language. You see? That's what I can assure you right now. There is nobody in this world, especially in this world of ours, South Africa, who becomes successful in English or through English. I mean, we have to be successful through English in this country, right?
Yes.
There is nobody who becomes successful through English who doesn't deposit a spirit of inferiority of his ancestors at the same time. It's impossible. Once you break through in English, what it says to you is that this is what you needed to go forward. Thus, you can never, the best of us, we try our best and we fight a good fight. But we are already on the negative. And thus then the language shows us, you know, one thing about language is the most powerful thing and also the most powerful thing for our development and the most powerful thing for our destruction.
Yes.
Yeah, like anything that God gives, by the way. Anything, whether it's a husband, a woman, anything. Whether it's God gives you the power of an atom, to understand an atom, you can heal and you can destroy civilization with it. So the language also has that duality with it. That it is the very thing that made us into these high supreme beings on the planet. Yet it's also the very same thing that led into the fall of the first, well, I won't say the first, but our first kingdom.
Yeah.
We fell because of language, and we're going to show it as we talk.
Yeah.
As we read, and we're going to see that, oh, this is how we actually fell as the powerful sin to civilization. But there's always that question that, what happened to you guys then? You understand what happened? It's in the language. The very language that sent you to rise is the very same language that sent you down to your abyss at the same time. So it's the wisest thing you can have and the most foolishest thing that you can ever have as a civilization. It's the foolishest thing that you can have as a civilization. Yet, it is the wisest thing that you can have as a civilization. That's why managing it shows us that you are able to build a civilization or you can't build a civilization. How you manage a language. Because right now we can have our own language here. Me and you just agree, okay, this means this and this. And it's just when you're friends, when you have friends, you just have words which, you know, standard, this is what it means, but between us we know this is what it means. That's why it's stupid language. You know, everybody can have language. At the same time, it's the only thing you need to liberate yourself. So then the skill to be able to manage that is that which determines if you are really, we can say, I'll give you the title, you are able to build a civilization. The power of the language. Now, since then, language is that which I identify myself with. When I grow up, as I'm born, I'm growing up, you are feeding me your language. This is what I know. This is my being. Is represented after this language, this own person, or nkathi. But look at the evil that happens to an African person. Is that when you reach a certain age, when you're about to go to school, you realize that what you thought that you are. You remember that when you are growing up, you were raised by your parents. You think your parents are God. You know why you think your parents are God? You think your parents are God because they can do anything. Your world is limited. Your everything is, I'm hungry, I want to do this. So they can do everything. And that also informs you. That's why our kids become noisy, they do everything, they jump on my sofa, they do those things. You're like, umntwana lona. No, umntwana is actually extrapolating what you are giving him. You are telling them, you can do anything. That's why you're like, my mama can do anything. My father can do anything. You see? So the child is extrapolating. I can do anything. So I can jump over the sofa. I can do this. I can do this. And she says, no, don't do it. Don't do that. And it's like, wow, really? I can't do it, but you can do it. I mean, and then she goes to school. And then she gets to realize that, oh, of our own is not good enough. I need to be unplugged. My mother is not good enough. My ancestors are not good enough. Damn, I'm not good enough. Is it? So now already we have introduced a spirit in the child. She'll grow up, she'll have to struggle. The best of us, of course, will come up their lives with flying colors. But there is a struggle in the child that she will never get rid of. That you as a parent, you've put your child there in. And that's why now the default state of an African person is to be rebellion towards their parents. Yeah. They are not, our people, they're not anchored into their parents, into their roots. Why? Because you did that, we did that to our children, and our parents did that to us. As we were growing up, they fractured that thing that our parents are like gods. And now we realize that, you, slaves.
Yeah.
You think I'm doing anything. I need to go and get it from Europe. You see? And then your kids becomes rebellious. We have a rebellious generation who think they must redefine everything. So they can jump on graveside because they're like, their core is gone.
Yeah.
So they feel like, okay, so we need to define ourselves. You see? So that's the power of the language. Language is powerful in that sense, that it is the one that tells you who you are. It's like the Tesla car, any car that you can drive with a software. So the car itself is not a cause of the software, okay? However, once the software is installed in the car, the software then drives the car. You see? And how it's designed is this. The car, as it moves around, it picks up information. It puts in the software. Then the software uses that information to drive the car, to control the car. So is language. As we grow, as we are interacting, we are receiving new things in the environment, we are putting it, we are depositing it in the language. After a while, the language then comes to control us. And this is the same and is true for all peoples of the planet Earth. Language is important because language derives your being. You see, it drives your being. You see. So when you are in a situation like you look at Europe, you look at America, you look at the things that they are struggling against, especially things which is to do with self-control, and you see that they are pedophilism in America and Europe. You find it just like, sometimes it's so institutionalized. You find they are this, okay, they're not, of course, official, but they are there in the country organizations which really believe that you can sleep with children. That you can do, yeah. So that happens, and you can see even how the Europeans are so easy to go into other people and tell you, you don't have a civilization, or you're nothing. You don't respect other people's property and rights. Do you know that if we can go 2,000 years or 3,000 years before they can do anything, and we check on their language, I can be able to extrapolate that this is the kinds of things you will do. And the same thing, if I can go to Bantu people and look at the language of isiNtu, I can tell that, oh, these are the things that you will do in the future. Your language tells me. So even the Europeans, they are struggling like this. They've been struggling for years, for thousands of years, to do the right thing, to live uprightly, to live righteously. They have been failing. Why they have been failing? It is the language. Their language is flawed. English is flawed. And all the many languages of the world, I'm not saying all, but many, because I don't have insight into all. So I'll talk of those I'm exposed to, especially English, it's the prime one. It's flawed. Why is it flawed? Because the experts in English, they will tell you it's a metaphorical language, it's an abstract language. It uses a lot of examples. You see? It's not fundamental like isiNtu is fundamental. As a result, the energy of language is unable to flow perfectly in a language that is abstract like English. You see? And that makes it then difficult for a being to relate with the language, there is then a division between what a person says and what a person does. And there is a sense of it's okay for you to say one thing and for you to do another thing. Like I can write a word, and it means something else, and then I can say the word, and then it means another thing. That is English. So English is flawed. Basically, it can never produce an upright person. Languages are not the same. It's like there's no such thing as languages are the same. They're not the same. So when they were saying that you Bantu people, your languages are inferior, whatever, some of them were, in the right direction in the sense that languages are not the same. They are not designed the same. They are not having the same benefits. They have different benefits. Yes. Especially with these ones which are so vastly different, like English and isiNtu. So with this isiNtu, we are then able to come to understand the purpose of language from the beginning, that it is just like a Tesla car needs that software so that it could be efficient and it could be controlled, in our Baiza strategy. Even so, you need a language for that uprightness also of your being, so that what you say with what you do, it can correlate. Let me make an example. When we come to imizwa, feelings, right? This is one of the things that our ancestors have mastered. You have to control imizwa. This is one of the things when you talk about the East, the northern civilizations, they have failed. You see, like you look at the Middle East. How did they solve the problem imizwa? Cover your body. You see, you can only see eyes. You go to Europe, almost the same thing. You cover yourself. This is how we fight this thing. You come to us. Our ladies look at Shaga Ilembe. Our gents,
We are not dressed.
We are not dressed, no, yes, exactly. Yes. Because we have found a solution. And our solution is in the language. Because there are 3 laws of behavior that I discovered in 2014. I discovered 3 laws of universal behavior, animals, human beings. And then recently, I discovered another law for the language. So in these 3 laws, one of these laws is action energy is shared according to priorities. One of the powerful laws of human behavior. As a human being, there is a law that is at work within you whenever you're about to do something. Action energy is shared according to priorities. That is, your brain works like an ESCOM. You see? It's like the room that you're not using, shut it down. You don't need electricity there. You're not using that room. Or do you want TV? Or just like TV. Yeah, so when the brain wants to give you action energy for something, so you have a task to do. You want to clean. This is just a task. So the brain is going to index and says, okay, in this task, the priority. And then if you discover that it's like priority 10, the brain is like, I'm sending no energy there. Huh? And then it looks around. What's the priority? I just want to sit and watch TV. And then the brain says, okay, so let's give you energy there. And then you have the energy to watch and sit and watch TV. And then all of a sudden, you realize, hey, your mother, your person is coming. Or maybe your neighbor, or whatever visitor is coming. And energy now to clean. Now you can clean. All this time, all day, you didn't have the energy. At that time when you think about the person who's coming, all of a sudden an energy just kicks in. Where does it come from? It's one of the things that used to fascinate me. I discovered this law, that there is law. You don't have to fight it. The brain will know that this is a priority to you, energy to you. This is not a priority to you. You want it. You cry. I want to do it. And the brain index says, there's no priority there. I ain't sending no energy there. So even also the language also has a law like that. The law in language is this. Action energy is distributed according to the meaning of words. That is according to the connection, the neural connection a word makes So if you can think that maybe a word, we can use a word, this is hypothetical, right, for now. I haven't done a thorough research into connecting the word with neurons to think that maybe, because it's just an hypothetical thought, because a neuron is like this one cell of yours, and it connects to other cells, and one cell can connect to various cells. And so you can think that, okay, so one neuron maybe can possess maybe one thought, you know. So if you that, and then you have that ratio 1-to-1, one neuron, and then one thought, what you will have is that then the many thoughts that are connected, or the many neurons are connected, the brain is going to distribute more power, more energy to that connection. You see? So then if you find words which does not have that many connections, the brain does not send, or the language is not able then to pass energy that you need. You see? Now, when our ancestors constructed language, they knew these things. The others didn't. By Tatela Puzzle, you know, like when you are programming. Today's kids, we didn't program from zeros and ones. You find libraries already there.
Yes.
It was all papa, and you think, I can just, you know, you don't know the work that was put there. Even so, you know, with English and all these mentioned languages, they don't know the kind of groundwork our ancestors had to put there for there to be this thing that we take for normally language. So when our ancestors built this language, they understood that the energy got to flow. You got to allow energy to flow so that what you say, what you think, what you know is what you will behave. Like take the word insizwa, right? So you have these two words, insizwa, right? Nsi, you know. The word nsi, we said, is from the word si, right? Si, we said, is essence.
Sure.
Remember? And then we have nti. So when you say nti, every time when the ancestor put n, or they make the sound to be ts, you must know that they are actualizing the concept. So they are making the concept now property, you know. So they are taking it from an abstract to say, oh, it's just a concept of essence. To say now the essence is a thing, is a thing now. Now, if an essence is a thing, how then you are talking about things which are like metals, because like an iron, like any of your metals, it's like a what, like a nsimbi. Yes, it's like a metal because it's like one thing that is an essence of itself. So when you say nti, you have this word nki, which is, I'm going to name, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But ki means self-owned.
Oh, wow.
It's a self-owned, yeah. So I get kina. Ka, I'm owned by something. It belongs to somebody. Ka,
snap.
yeah. Ke means unowned. It's like a reciprocal. Ki means self-owned. So we use it also kina, kiwena. So ntsiki then means that which is self-strong. Yeah, that's a powerful word, I think. That would be ntsiki, like ntsika. You know, yes. It's a ntsika of something. Yes. Like it's a ntsika, it balances something. It's the pillar of something. You see, it's ntsika. Now, you have insizwa, zwa. Zwa, imizwa. It's feelings. So we call it imizwa, ukuzwa. Because your feelings may not only come through even hearing, mizwa. Now, you see our ancestors? They say, we're not insizwa. Why? Because of your zwa, which imizwa, your feelings, are what? Anti. Yes?
Oh.
Yeah. So when you look at the lady and then you go and I'll see on insizwa. Yes? Yeah, I'll see on insizwa. Today, insizwa does not have that energy. Why? We have lost the spirit of the language. We don't have the energy of the language. You see? Had we had the language, the energy of the language, when somebody adding insizwa, he was going to understand what he means. He is the one who is able to tata imizwa yake itnsi. You see? So our ancestors, to solve this thing, lust, promiscuity, sexual immorality, they knew what to do. The language because the language is that which drives you. If you miss it, you will be driven everywhere. You have no source, you have no basis, you have no roots, like our generation. It's not a mystery that we are like this. It's not as if we don't know what's going on. No, we know what's happening. We are losing our language. Ubuntu betu, we are losing it together with our language. There is a scripture that I like, is in Solomon, I think is Shumaeli. Yeah, I think. He says, do not remove ancient boundaries. Because you don't know why your ancestors have put that boundary there. Before you remove it, make sure you consult with your ancestor first. Right? Consult. Then you will be told, then move or move it this way. Because we have put, when you know why is konkolo sabekwa, mawususa susa ngani ngoqonda. Kodwa manje asibuza. We never had the discussion why we must not talk isiXhosa isiZulu. We never had that discussion. Right? We never had. We were just told you shouldn't. Everything that is not, that was of us, that we have abandoned. We never had discussions to say why why? We never had that thing. We don't know. We never consulted. You see? So senje ikhonkolo ngokupapa ngoba sithi samba ngani ngenkathi, new times. And then you ask the people about bamba ngenkathi, can you define time for us, please? Is it? And then a person will understand that there is no such thing as a global time. There is a Chinese time, there is a Western time, there is an African time. So in a moment, whose time are they? It's not even scientific. It's not scientific. So what is this thing?
What is nkathi? When we break it down, what is it?
What you mean isiNtu?
Yes.
Nkathi. Yeah, I love that one. Yes. So nkathi in isiNtu is like nkathi. So you have, I love isiNtu. You know, beautiful. The power of isiNtu, right, is that you now have a broad expression of understanding of terms. Like when I say time, I'll be obliged to, because ngumZulu, right? I'll be obliged to say isikhathi. Mangicala ngithi xesha, hayi inkinga. Mangicala ngithi inkari, hayi inkinga. Uyabo? Mangicala ngithi nako, hayi inkinga. Sengikhuluma okunye manje. Kanti uma ukhuluma ngesiNtu, you understand, we are talking about variations of time here. It's not one time. How about inkari? How about nkathi? It's time, but a variation of time, meaning something different. About ixesha, meaning something different. About nako, meaning something different. It's time, but different. About isikhathi, meaning something different. You see, different aspects of time. And if we know this, we know the things that makes Einstein and these others, but they're so confused about time. But even today, there's still that thing about time. It's still like, had we done sin, you will understand that, but we are so ahead. Our ancestors say, pass. You know, pass. Like I said, like discovery of isiNtu is like the discovery of Wakanda. Only if it was real. Like if you were told that.
And without that white guy at the end. Yes.
So, nkathi is the word nkathi. So, nka, I said ka means of, right? When you put the n, everything that has nka, it says to you this concept is a concept that belongs to other things. You see? Yeah. So T is always a touch, but a soft touch, and the T makes like sort of like a parameters. You see, like a rainbow, how it is. It's, I can say, like arranged. So the arrangement, it is T, but like this line in which something like when I go like this is a T. You know, like I don't know, whatever. But it's that thing that separates the thing that marks. So I can tinta you. Tinta, use that word ta to mean it's a high T. You see? So nkathi is that word that says that to you. These are the elements of the T. Like nkari, it's the same. Nkari will mean a calendar. Like nkathi will mean like seasons and calendar. So it's time in that fashion. Like nkari is time in terms of calendar. You see, nkathi is also time in terms of that, seasonal. Yes. Then nako becomes time in terms of now. In physics, it will be called a proper time. Yeah, that will be nako, proper time. That is time now. And then you will have xesha, xhosa. That will be a time with procedure. Like mawulindile ixesha lelo. Because there's a process, there's a point A to point B. That's a xesha. Every time I'm talking about the concept of time of xesha, I am actually talking about the period towards a change. That's why you have a xe and a sha. You have two ways there. And then the which one, the last one is isikhathi. So isikhathi, you're talking about the essence of the car. The
Yes,
T. Yeah.
yes.
The car is the everything. The seamless. That's what the car is. The word car is seamless. It means just seamless. So like we are kanda. You are re-expressing the seamlessness of something which was broken. Mangithi ukhamba uyakha. I can only ikha ngento enjani engukha is seamless, like this thing you see. No holes. It's a car. Ukhamba. That's a concept of a cup. A cup. Yes, where do they take the cup?
I see them.
So it's the isikhathi. You are talking about the seamless of the universe, like you have the word karma. Yes, that's where it comes from, that it is seamless. And now we are talking about space-time continuum. So now we are talking about time not as nako, not as xesha, not as nkari, but as space-time continuum. It's time as it involves the movement of the heavenly bodies and everything that is in it. So mangithi isikhathi, isikhathi sami siyaphela manje. It's an overkill. It's like I'm coming with a nuclear bomb in a gunfight. Yeah, I should be saying nako yami. Kodwa ngeke ngithi nako yami. Esengumsuthu ke manje. I'm confined now to use this one concept, which is a problem now with the African people. It's not possible that I will ever rise without other, because maybe the last thing that I might say, as an example, oh my God, I'm not going to say it even today, maybe next time. But the last time to say on the last thing maybe I may say of this is this. It's a series. It's not a series. It's a movie. It's an animation. It's called Raya and the Dragon, I think. So Raya and the Dragon is a young lady. It's a young lady there, who she's from this village where there are several villages, but there was once a great empire they called a commando. Right? And this commando empire fell, just like our case, and became different tribes. But they live next to each other, like we do, Tomasu, you see. And then one day, the king of the great house, which was remaining strong, wanted to make a feast and call other houses, other villages to come, because he wanted to bring them together and make this great nation again, commando. Now, when they come there, little did you know that the other houses, they've planned to actually steal something there, which they thought is the thing that gives this house power, that makes them to be privileged, And that was the spirit of their god. Their god is Sisu the dragon. Sisu the dragon is housed in this glass, that is, the glass shining with light. So he is housed there in a cave nicely. Now they decided to go and steal it, only to find out that it was not just the one person who had the minds to steal it. Like everybody in the village had the mind to steal it. And when they got there, when we were trying to steal it, they fought over it. And then they broke it. It got destroyed into pieces. Now, each and every tribe there picked their pieces and they ran away. Now, little did they know that when they take these pieces and they ran away, what was remaining of their protection will be gone. The demons came in, which they call the doomsday. They came in immediately, and they terrorized the place. And then it was the adventure then of Raya to go now looking for these pieces, bringing them together. It was when she brought them all together, the spirit of Sizwe was then reborn. Then the kingdom was also reborn. Exactly like our story as Nguni people. When I say Nguni people, I involve Khoi in the sense, so we're going to explain it some other time. That we are like that. It's like Basotho, they've took another piece. Amazulu, they've taken another piece. Amaxhosa, have taken another piece. You know, all of us, we have taken a piece. And none of us want to come and join these pieces. You know, we rather join room long. Where we're supposed to come and bring together these pieces and realize that, wow, we are having a civilization here. It's not culture, it's not tradition, it's still, no, this is a civilization that we are having, guys. We can actually do anything, you know. So I don't know the time. Maybe it's good to just throw in this last example.
Yeah, you can throw in the last example.
Yes. So imagine this, right? You are a parent, got 3 kids. And then your kids, they want to play with the toys. You don't have money to buy them toys. And then you say, okay, you go back home. You remember that you had toys that your mother gave to you. Your parents gave it to you. And then they told you that these are the toys that their parents gave to them. They used to play with them. All right? You remember them and you go, you fetch them for your kids to play with. You go in, you fetch your toys and you bring them to your kids. Your kids love the toys. They play with the toys. All right? Imagine that these toys are like 30 by 40, you know, like just big clunky things, like maybe a car, maybe a truck, maybe a house. Okay, so they can play. You know, those big cars, big house, and they can play. And all of a sudden, the parents of these other kids, they get smarter, you know, they get jobs, they buy their kids new toys. And these toys that they buy the kids in the neighbor, they buy sleek toys, nice sleek toys, like 5 by 10, you know. So these kids now, and it's not just one. Your kids only have a car, only have a truck, only have a, you know. These ones, they have a bike, they have a jet, they have, you know, they have all these accessories. And then they play there. And then your kids, all of a sudden, they feel small. They feel poor. They feel their parents did not think about them. They want to express themselves, you know, jet skiing, helicopter, train. Their parents just give them a big truck, a big car. They think our parents are just stupid. You know, it's stupid. And even these other kids are like, you guys, take your toys and put them at the house. You play them in your home there. Here, guys, no, your toys can't do it. They're too big. These are new times, bro. These are new times. We need sleek toys. Now imagine, unbeknownst to you, to your kids, that these toys didn't even belong to your parents, nor their grandparents, but your great-grandparents. And when your great-grandparents had these toys, they didn't buy them. They were geniuses of the day. Imagine, they created them. But when they created them, there were these small Legos. You know the small Lego toys? Yeah. So they were so much of a genius that they created these small Legos, which was so perfect, that when you put them together and you are making a car, it becomes a perfect car, a perfect truck. You look at it, you can't even tell it's a Lego. Right? And unbeknownst to your kids, is that actually their toys are not these big, clunky cars that they are having. Your grandparents, they put them together because of a need. They needed to, you know, put some things there. That's why they created it. It was a need. But actually, what is actually their toys, what is actually the genius of their great-great-grandparents is not their big cars. Their toys is actually the small Anyanas Legos. Because this was the fun of their great-grandparents. This is what they used to play with. They didn't play with the cars, as now your kids are playing them. They were playing with the Legos. They were so excited about the Legos. They did all kind of stuff with the Legos. They founded the neighborhood with the Legos. But now, your kids are told that your things are outdated because your kids lack knowledge. They don't know. So me, I'm like that kid who was just sitting there, was like bored and like, hey man, here in the line, Lena, is it a decoration? Then when I went there and I took it out and later, it's not a decoration, people. Hey, people, it's not a decoration. These are Legos. These are not our toys. Our toys are not this truck. Our toys, you know, And then people are like, no, we love our cars. We love our truck. This is what say to I know we are not qualified to play with those other nice kids, only to find out that actually you are the foundation. If you can know that actually your language is not actually the toys. The language is the building blocks. Now this should not be a biggie for the viewers of Moya, because you already know of the 3 laws of isiNtu that I did unpack the other time that I was here. And the first of these laws is to say that isiNtu, it is a language of pure syllables. I said ta, ku, ma, la, ka, ka. To us, those are words. Like Sizwe, that's a phrase. It's not a word, it's a phrase. You see. So when then you realize that words like Pagamani, okay, so actually that's sentences in isiNtu. To our ancestors, that's a sentence. You see, to us it's a word, because we don't understand how our language works. And if we understood that, we'll understand, okay, so we actually have one language. We have expressed it in different forms. And then when Umzulu will come and say, Mina ngiyakhuluma, wena wenzani. Is it? He was not meaning, Mina ngikhuluma isiZulu, wena wenzani. To us, and today, that's what it means. Yes. But that's not what the ancestors meant. Mina ndiyathetha, wena wenzani. You think mina ndithetha isiXhosa? No, that's not what your ancestors were meaning. Mangithi ngiyakhuluma, I mean ngikhuluma isiNtu. Wena usenzani isiNtu? Mina ndiyasithetha isiNtu. Athi omunye, hayi mina ndiyasibuwa isiNtu. Hayi mina ndiyasihamba. These are different forms of expressing the one language, isiNtu. And maybe we can go time, but I'll go then into breaking down ukukhuluma, why athi ngiyakhuluma. Why athi ndiyathetha lo? Why lo nathi uyabuwa? And then there you are going to actually also see, maybe this we can, another time, but we can see, put it as maybe discussion for another time. We can then be able to see the history of our language and the development of our language, and potentially why our language, even our civilization, actually broke. Yeah, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not some, it's so beautiful. It's so mind-blowing. So mind-blowing. Then you will realize that from our ancestors, where they are sitting, they're looking at us, they're like, Asiyazi thina le nto. Nangomunye, Sotho, Zulu, lo, Xhosa le. Asiyazi ke thina le nto. Because to them, this was isiNtu, and they expressed it in various ways. That's why they could understand each other very well. You see, because they understood it. When you uthethe uki. Wamenza kanje utsiki. Okay, nakitsekina. It's the same key. It's the same concept. You see? But how you use it is interesting. You see? You use it differently. Yes. And I'm like, that's so nice. How did you use it? Wow, that's so nice. And when you understand isiNtu, if our children grow up learning isiNtu, they're not going to be like us. It's even me, 3 years since I've discovered isiNtu, I'll say. I'm still not there. Compared to the generation that is to come, the way they'll understand themselves and understand their languages, I'm like a baby to them. I'm seriously like a baby to them. You know, they were like, they'll be doing what we are doing to Monday, like, sellouts. They'll be calling me sellouts. Moses is even talking English. Right. No, he's even talking English there. Yeah, so, but at the end of the day, we are one. And it is by the order of the Almighty God that isiNtu needs to be reinstated back into Africa. You know, I'll explain this more when I do now the proof of God through scripture and philosophy. Yes, and you will see how God ordains that in these days, isiNtu must be reinstated. Otherwise, you cannot know God. You'll see, it is so beautiful.
Stunning.
It's glorious.
And, so Kabir.
We're going
to have to call you in for part 3 again, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And sinukufisela imini yokuzala imandi We know that uyazalwa namhlanje, and comment section, please can you send your birthday wishes, although it will be a bit delayed, but we do wish you a happy birthday, and we are so thankful for all the worship.
And in Ghana, jokubulela your listeners, because for the first time I received orders, and they bought books, isiNtu, and there are still orders. So for those, we are still coming with the hardcovers, you know. So Camagu. I mean, I used to offer the book isiNtu even for free. None of my friends will take it. None of my friends know isiNtu.
Unbelievable.
They couldn't take it. Like, but I find people are saying, we want to know. I mean, where do you get the book? So thank you to the
Moya
viewers.
Sizwe.
Yeah, Moya Sizwe, you know, like I'm home. Yeah. And come home. And I'd like to talk to the listeners. We should, support this movement. You have sacrificed your mind, your life, and your everything, right, for you to be here. You could not even prosper the way things they are. But still, for the sake of the cause, you are here. There wouldn't be this had you not sacrificed. There wouldn't be me. There wouldn't be isiNtu had I not sacrificed my life, my sanity, my dignity as a man, as a person. I used to cry a lot, days in and day out, you see. But it's a sacrifice, and that's why it was Nietzsche who said that unless you have a chaos within you, you cannot give birth to a dancing star. So even the viewers, they should know that they are also called to. They wouldn't be this if there wasn't sacrifice. There are a lot of things, if they don't sacrifice in their own space. The reason why the other movements, the Christian movements, they were so big, it was because there were people who can sacrifice. They could sell their cars, let the movement go. They can sell, I have 3 houses, right? They can sell their house, let Moya go. You see? We need sacrifices for African agenda. That if you go to the history of the Western world, you see they were sacrificing those people. Well, they abused it, the church, you know the story. We can get into it when we talk about scripture and philosophy. If we need to, we don't need to, but we can. But then you will see how much they sacrifice. Unless there be people who are willing to sacrifice, the Lord honors sacrifice. Believe you me, He does. Oh, that's why I'm even here. That's a proof He does honor sacrifice.
Camagu. Oh, Moya writes, you see, you're making us look good. Thank you so much. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. Thank you for being supportive. All the guests, all of them talk about the abundance that you bring into their life. All of them talk about how you're calling them for business, for their books. All of them are so thankful to you guys. So from the bottom of my heart, I really thank you for being part of this journey and helping to grow the African healers and ensuring that they've got a safe space to come and impart their knowledge. Umoya ulight, umoya ubright. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Members, you know you're my babies. Thank you so much for that sacrifice you give us every single month. It's really going a long way. Thank you. See you again next time.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely corner into it off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.